Good afternoon. Today we have another health talk, and on behalf of Navi Mumbai Bengali Association, I welcome all our audiences with respect to the health talk. The topic of today's health talk is with respect to orthopedics and the joint replacement, where we find a lot of questions which are coming from the various corners that is received by us, and we'll be having a direct talk with our doctor specialist. Let me introduce our Dr. Vikram over here. He is a well experienced associated with the Apollo hospitals over here. We'll have discussions which are related to the orthopedic element as well as the joint replacement questions will be there. And let me welcome from behalf of Navi Mumbai Bengali Association, Dr. Vikram. Welcome over here. Namaskar.
Thanks for this very generous introduction, and I'll be happy to answer whatever queries you have in your mind.
Thank you, Doctor. Doctor, we are going through a very bad phase, which is generally called as the pandemic, which we are now facing with that. A lot of people they have perished, and a lot of people are suffering at home too. Now, you are a practitioner. Probably now you are getting a lot of queries which are coming to you day and night. You may be getting a different type of sets of queries which are coming to you due to this pandemic on the orthopedic area. Can you elaborate on these ailments which you are now treating with?
That's a very good question, Mr. Mukherjee, because pandemic has affected in ways more than one. I will focus myself on orthopedic perspectives also. We have got a lot of online consultations, and they are regarding some very vague and non-specific thing to me, but it is quite crucial to the patient because there is so much of stress. People are restricted to their narrow confinements, and the complaints I am getting is non-specific back pain, neck pain, headache, and all types of myalgia. What are we going to offer further? Because they are mostly interested in getting out of this. First of all, you must do regular exercise. Mental stress, it could be anything. Job related stress, relationships breaking down. You must do meditation, and yoga is extremely good. Nowadays, lockdown has not been very severe, so you must go and try to walk. Walking is extremely good. Then I would suggest, if you have not done, calcium, vitamin D3 and B12 level.
Okay, Doctor.
Fortunately, Bengali community eats fish, so B12 is not of paramount importance. But invariably, if the calcium and vitamin D is low, the symptoms are non-specific muscle ache, backache, and feeling of low, not exactly depression type. Take this code for 3 months and you will feel much better. Equally, you should not have excess of vitamin D as well. Because what I have noticed is people are going on health checkup to 2-3 different doctors, and each one looking at the vitamin D level prescribes vitamin D for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, or 12 weeks. You might end up getting vitamin D toxicity and kidney stone. Have faith in yourself. In the last also, there have been tremendous pandemics like bubonic plague, cholera, HIV also as one time was like pandemic. And I am sure with human beings with his resilience, we'll come out of it. So exercise, stay healthy, meditation, and check your vitamins level. And I think you should be over it. That will be my simplistic solution to this rather very complex problem.
Doctor, you have talked very relevant part is that vitamin D, particularly. Probably those who are recovering out of the COVID situation, particularly, they have been given a prescription of that also. You should continue with the vitamin D for a certain time.
Yeah.
But how long this particular treatment should go? And is there any kind of specific check that the patient should go back to a clinic, get checked that also what's the level right now, and then there's any kind of indication that where he has to stop it?
Yeah. See, you just talked about vitamin D, but let me take this forum to address that after any viral fever, you get severe muscles and bones cramps and very lethargic. My own registrars, after suffering from COVID, were unable to climb one flight of stairs, and one was carrying oxygen canister. So this is just a temporary phase. Whatever your CT score is, you will just be over it. So don't worry about it. Zinc, vitamin D are the supplements which have been prescribed. generally if you have not taken any vitamin D for last 1 year, you can easily take vitamin D 60,000 unit I am talking about, not 500 or 2,500 unit which you normally get in a Shellcare HT or any calcium supplement. That is just the minimum maintenance dose. When you are deficit, I would recommend 60,000 unit per week for 12 weeks.
Okay.
So either you take it for 12 weeks, some of the GPs empirically write it for 6 weeks, that is perfectly fine. But if you think you have to take more than 12 weeks, I would strongly recommend to get your blood levels checked and then follow accordingly. Now again the fallacy here is that this test cost you around, if you look into the cost effective benefit analysis ratio, the test costs 2,500. So you are doing 5,000 tests before and after taking the treatment. So if everything is fine, you can take it empirically 4 to 12 weeks. Different regimes. I give 12 weeks at a stretch. Somebody might say 6 weeks consecutively, and then every month one tablet of 60,000 unit. Whichever regime you take is perfectly fine. But if you are crossing more than 12 tablets, and if there is no real indication, then in that case only, I would suggest a blood test.
Okay.
Hope this is helpful.
Very nice, doctor. Doctor, during this particular pandemic time, particularly, most of the people know they're working from home, right?
Yes.
And I find that also a lot of people are complaining about some musculoskeletal disorders, particularly. Some are having a backache, which you have rightly said about that. Also, you're receiving the complaints right now with respect to the backache or the pain-related issues, which are more right. Now, what do you suggest about that also? Is it only the exercise or any kind of, the posture related they have to take care of it? Any kind of posture training they need to take it care? Is it like something which you would like to recommend to them?
Yes. This is a very important issue about now. Remember that Sanskrit saying, Ati Sarvatra Varjayat. Excess of everything is bad. Or in a plain simple English, what I would try to put it as a repetitive stress injury. And you will be surprised, I get very fit looking young lads, 20, 24 years of age, 6 foot tall, and bitterly complained about the neck pain or the back pain. Then what I have found out are they mostly IT related guys. And I am perplexed that they are working 20 hours a day at a stretch,
Correct.
which I cannot imagine. They have to meet apparently some deadlines. So how do they work? That is the next question. Either they are sitting on a computer, looking down. See, if human body was not designed to sit on this chair for 8 hours a day. So they are either looking down on the computer, so they get neck pain, or they are lying down on the bed in a reclining Buddha or Vishnu, whichever you like position. Then they start getting the muscle spasm. Very easy to criticize, but they can't leave their job.
Okay.
So what has been found is micro break. You will find any number of gurus giving micro break and how to conduct them on YouTube. But the basic principle is after every 1 hour, you get up from your desk or chair, because nowadays it's an open plan office, most of the places. In my time, there were all cubicles. And you just do the stretching of the neck and back. And these simple things will keep you going. We have discussed at length calcium, vitamin D. Your bed is also important. It should be a hard bed. I am not a great fan of orthopedic mattresses or memory mattresses.
Right.
The simple cotton pillow, which younger generation might not have seen, a thin cotton pillow, a hard bed is the best thing I would recommend. And you'll be surprised just by doing micro breaks. You don't need any analgesics. Use them sparingly. No medicines are without their side effect. And just by lifestyle changes, I have found most of the people have recovered very well. And they start googling all those things, and then the WebMD doctor starts telling them all this cancer and different muscle tumors, which scares me to death. It's a good idea. I like my patient to be well informed, but follow this repetitive stress injury, break the cycle, take micro breaks, and you'll be laughing all the way to the bank.
That's really nice. Doctor, another point is that particularly we have, I'm saying about with respect to the Navi Mumbai Bengali Association part is that we have a lot of, the old age people, those who are working with us. And I must tell you about that also, we are also running a home for cancer patients. Those who are coming and they're getting treated over here. Coming back to this old age people, those who are working, they have a lot of complaints with respect to the knee, and with the toe, or they have a problem which is related to the bones, which is backbones, which they are talking about. Most of the time, they are doing regular exercise, they are going for a walk also, but then still, is it something related to season also, this kind of pains which are traveling to their these ligament pain, or the, you can say the knee pain or something like that? Is something to do with the ligament? Because I have seen that also with the onset of the monsoon, the people will start complaining about it, right? Or onset of the winter, the people will start complaining about this kind of pain. So, is it a kind of a deficiency which you can narrate, or it is any kind of a time where you feel that they should report it to orthopedic surgeon?
See, now coming back to your question about the timing and the season, you are right. In the winter and during the rains, during the monsoons as we call it over here, we get the most patient with an exacerbation of the knee pain or the back pain. And this is a common finding. But our body temperature doesn't changes according to the temperature outside. If it is 37 degrees, it will remain 37 unless and until you are getting frostbite. That also internal core temperature remains the same. This is very relevant in rheumatoid arthritis. Fortunately, that is very rare in India or in our tropical climate. Rheumatoid arthritis, there has been proven a very definite evidence that as the temperature drops, rheumatoid arthritis flares up. Here we are talking only about evidence-based medicine. We cannot have our own fancy ideas and start propagating them. So rheumatoid arthritis, yes. Winter is a detrimental thing, their arthritis flares up. In India, we mostly get osteoarthritis, which is age-related wear and tear. And let me confirm everybody. Any X-ray after the age of 40 will show wear and tear. MRIs will start showing these changes after the age of 35 years. One thing we must understand is human body is designed to live up to 35 years. You haven't found any prehistoric fossils of humanoids more than 35 years of age.
That's a very surprising.
Nowadays, an average expectancy of people of my age is 95 years plus minus 5 years.
Correct.
And your people will cross 700 years of age. After 60 or even say after 50, nobody is getting younger.
Yeah.
But this back pain will start, just take analgesics, physiotherapy. Sadly, I am not a great fan of anti-osteoporosis medicine, which are very much in vogue in Navi Mumbai, because I think it's on the basis of evidence. Our bone is like a tree. It is a wood of the tree. It is growing. It is molting.
Right.
Whereas osteoporosis medicine, in theory, it is wonderful. It makes the bone hard, but it is just like glass, hard and brittle. It causes insufficiency fracture. Very rare. 1 or 2 fractures, but they don't heal, come what may, whatever treatment I do. So I am not a great fan of anti-osteoporosis medicine. So stay active, do physiotherapy, that is important, because when your walking is limited, say you are 78 years of age and you don't want to get any joint replacement, fair enough, that is your choice. But your walking is restricted, so your muscles become weak. Even if you keep my arm in plaster for 3 weeks without any problem, and you remove the plaster after 3 weeks, the arm will be half the size of this arm and the joint will become stiff. So at least physiotherapy will keep the muscles going. Occasional analgesics like paracetamol and ultracid is very good. I won't recommend anti-inflammatories that causes stomach upset and kidney problems in the long term. Weight bearing exercises are also very good, provided you can do at senior citizens age. Don't ask a personal trainer. I have seen some 65, 70 years old lady hiring a personal trainer, doing yoga, walking, calisthenics, and then started getting back pain and knee pain. Build it up slowly by 10% cool every week. And I think you should be fine with that. 20 minutes of walk thrice a week is a recommended activity we suggest for senior citizens or super senior citizens, provided they can do
20
that.
minutes of walk a day. That's a minimum.
Thrice a week.
Thrice a week. Okay.
See, we are talking about senior citizens and super senior citizens.
I'm talking about both the senior citizen and the super
Yeah.
citizen.
Because at super senior citizens, they generally walk with a walking aid and they should be safe. That is the thing we must understand, because then the bone bulk, muscle bulk is equally well maintained. Otherwise, sitting also you can do some physiotherapy and that will benefit them immensely.
So, doctor, do you recommend any kind of the clinical test which need to be performed on a periodical basis, particularly to know about that what is the condition of the bone, what is the condition of the ligament, or the condition of the knee joints particularly. Is there anything with respect to, as you said, that also as it is more related to the age. So do we go for any kind of a clinical investigations on a periodical basis?
See, let me talk from the perspective of the literature which is available. Health checkup, according to me, once in 5 years is very good. But nowadays it has become like a new thing, and every company as a pre-employment procedure will insist on getting a yearly health checkup, which really doesn't help anybody. I'm not a great fan of American style of medicine, whole body MRI, whole body CT scan. I address the problem. Sadly, we don't have GP system in India who would know you each and everything and refer you only to specialists like in Western Europe. So address the problem as it comes, and once in 5 years, if you go for health checkup, that is perfectly fine by me. Or if your condition changes, don't hesitate. Come and seek the appropriate help and advice when needed.
Correct. Doctor, I have another question which is emerging from my some of my friends I was interacting with them also. It's more related to the sports related. They have been athlete in their life, and then now after the post athlete period, it becomes quite painful for them also. They started complaining about sports related injuries those who have faced during the sports time. They are coming up back to their life. So how to deal with such? Because I found that people are now they athlete, they are runners, they are now finding it big, the pain with the legs and other things. They are very often complaining about it also. So sports related injuries which is carried forward to the next life, or you can say the next phase of the life. How it has been dealt in your case?
Well, remember that those who live by sword will die by sword. I get people running for marathon. 3 hours you are not touching the heel, and then invariably you will get shin splint because the muscles are acting, so you will get pain in the calf. Then physiotherapists take it to the whole new level. They will do gait analysis and they will see while running your foot is pointing upwards and you are getting iliotibial band syndrome. But you want to run marathon, prepare for the consequences. I would suggest anybody to stop doing sports.
Right.
Because sports, when you do sports injuries will come. More so in the contact sport, like wrestling, rugby, and even I got this kabaddi, some academy going on. So this is a part and parcel of life. Be safe. Don't be overzealous. But when I deal with 16, 18 years of age of young lads, caution is thrown out of the window. So let's not talk about that. So those who are sports person, their cartilage is well preserved. Generally, we keep telling the patients that it is a wear and tear. So with that logic, if you are running marathon, your cartilage should wear out like a car tire. Like that's the analogy I offer to every patient. But that is not the case, because cartilage is just like your nails. Blood lays a neural structure like enamel of the tooth. So it gets this little nutrition from the food in the joint. So when you press it, some food goes in and comes out. And that is how it gets the nutrition. So I have found, in my personal opinion, sports people are doing well at the end of the day. But of course, sports related injuries, repetitive stress injuries are there. Another thing which I have found is missed out sports injuries. Generally what happens is that the young people playing in their club, let's talk about the knee. There are so many sports. Dislocation of the shoulder is very obvious, so you can't miss it out. Anterior cruciate ligament. If suppose it ruptures, the knee becomes swollen, they will limp for a couple of days, maybe for 4 or 5 days. Then the sports physiotherapist offers them some taping and ice pack. Just like Europe, we should give them the privilege of getting an MRI. Right. So a lot of sports injuries will be prevented. And remember, a stitching time saves life. So if your ACL is gone, you will end up injuring your meniscus also, because I am shocked. Young people, their ACL has been missed because they didn't bother to go to the hospital and they thought that is fine. Then when they went to the football field and started running between the cones, they started stumbling down, then they came to me. By that time they were injured, their meniscus or cushion inside the knees also.
Right.
I got a 50-year-old squash player, old ACL. I said, doctor, that time there was a lot of fashion of going to orthopedic surgeon and getting an MRI. I went to my GP, he just gave me some medicine and I am fine. So these are the things.
Right.
if your knee is clicking, blocking, or giving way, get an MRI scan done. That will give us conclusively what you're looking for, and that is how I would like to answer this question.
Thank you, doctor. Another question which is coming from another background of that also, young, as you said, the young lads. I find that also many of the young lads, there is a difference in terms of understanding between what is something which is to be neurological part or the ortho part. They fail to address that at the initial stage. They try to ignore it because I have seen that also many of the young lads, particularly, they have a pain. No, they will say that also I have a back pain, I have a neck pain, but then they try to take some kind of analysis, analgesic medicines or something like that, which is a pain reliever for some time, and then they forget about it, and then whenever it appears, they continue with this kind of medicine. They at this level they are not in position to understand that what is orthopedical element or what is neurological element which is now bothering them. How to address such situation when it comes to you? Because that's one of the guidelines which I would like to ask you from.
If it is not broken, don't mend it. See, we have separated body into orthopedics, neurology, pediatrics. But body doesn't separate itself according to our treating physicians.
Correct.
When I'm talking about my neck problem, there are nerves, there are bones, there are muscles, there are ligaments.
Correct.
Take an MRI of my neck. Invariably, you will find there is a disc at C5 C6 level because that is a weight bearing position, the lowermost spot where the mobile cervical neck joins with the thoracic. Take an MRI from my back and you will find a disc at alpha S1. So we are treating the patient, not the MRI. As I said, with the passing age, everybody, it's a mechanical issue. Young people who are doing weightlifting, they will have a disc at C5 C6 and at lower level alpha S1 or alpha. At my age, you will find canals become narrow, degenerative changes, nerves are getting trapped. So it's a mixed composite picture. Next is who can address this. Now there is a tremendous overlap. Orthopedic surgeon.
Exactly, that's what.
A neurosurgeon has also joined the fray.
Yes.
And orthopedic surgeon somehow becomes super specialized. They call themselves super spine surgeon.
Right.
In my time, there was no such thing. Today, they have added a lot of designations to me. But I consider myself as a proper hardcore surgeon just because of the time. Sometimes I was a young adult hip surgeon. Here I'm a reconstruction surgeon and a sports surgeon.
Right.
But I am of that old breed where it's a jack of all trades. So the question is, any sensible person you go and speak to, he will address it. And as I said, analgesics, physiotherapy, just because an MRI is showing a disc at C5, C6, I won't be operating for sure, or I will be giving steroid injection. Yes, if it is pressing on the nerves and causing some weakness of the muscle,
Right.
like paralysis, or he loses control of the water bowel or mass, then of course an operation has to be done within 8 hours. All the 3 people can do it. So there is nothing to choose one over another. And mostly it is conservative treatment, so don't feel that somebody is going to offer. There is a lot of market forces also, steroid injection, this percutaneous nerve stimulation. I'm not talking about alternative medicine like acupuncture or cupping therapy is another thing. So any sensible person will find out, he will evaluate you, he will just try to treat you conservatively, and if there is something he thinks it needs to be addressed, you will appropriately refer it to the concerned specialty, like oncology or vascular surgeon. We are not shy about that.
Right.
If something is not my scope, I am more than happy to take the help. Of course, now I get mostly tertiary referral when I was young. Or if something, there is some vascular tumor or anything, I will refer it to the vascular surgeon.
Right.
So it is the same thing being seen by 2-3 different specialties, and at a minor level, it doesn't make a huge difference.
Right. Doctor, another one of the question which comes into my mind also. There's a lot of tremendous technological advancement has taken place in terms of the spine surgery is concerned. So how do you rate now, how safe it is now, the spine surgeries in India?
Generally,
And more specifically to the Apollo is concerned, because the people, those who are coming over here, they rate Apollo as quite a great institution.
that is a very generous praise for us. So you talked about recent advances in spine surgery. is it technology driven or patient driven? These are the two things we must fairly discuss.
Right.
Because this is out of the context. When I did a TKR for my, just excuse me, but to get the handle of it. When I went for my dad's TKR, I didn't went for the latest model. I went for a model which was 10 years proven track record and which is still being in vogue. Not that I had to go to a museum to find that total regenerative placement. Sadly or for good, medical entity has become a big corporate enterprise, and it is all driven by some very big companies which are leading the world, and they claim they are leading in innovation. But is it a case of the more the things change, the more they remain the same? Spine, they have got robotics, different instruments, that is very good. They are very friendly. Nowadays there is a computer to assist you everything. So these changes have definitely made a huge impact. What the companies claim, patient safety has been enhanced. I have also tried all those things, and I am quite happy by the overall outcome. And ultimately, it is at the end of the day, it is a patient's condition, the surgeon. These are the added tools in his hand. You understand?
Yeah.
You might find these very abstract and not going around the circle.
So the doctor is important and the tools are also important.
Everything. It is like a trinity.
It's a trinity.
It's like a holy trinity. They all have to club together. This is my personal opinion. Just because I'm in Apollo, it claims to be tertiary care hospital, we have got all the latest things there. But you must understand, my dad is also a doctor, still alive. And we discussed the results and how things were done. In my opinion, you should not be banking solely on the recent advances or these things which have been pushed by companies. Why I'm saying that? A lot of things have come in front of me and have just disappeared in thin air. It is just like a rep coming to you and telling you, doctor, this is a car. So you ask him, what is the best thing? He says, mood enhancing lighting in the 6 ambient mode. How much is that relevant? Sometimes your age also makes a difference, but yes, computer, robotics, new instrumentation, we are moving in the right direction. And yes, this does make a huge difference. It makes life easier for us.
So it is more precise, you can say about it. More precision has come up in terms of the medical technology is concerned.
Yes. It is definitely getting better. And we are striving to be 100% foolproof. And it is one step in the right direction. But equally, as a senior surgeon, you must not have too much reliance. You must use your sense also. This is what I tell all my junior doctors. I hope that makes sense to you.
Very nice talking with you, doctor. Thank you very much for this particular great advices to the people in our audience also. Thank you on behalf of Navi Mumbai Bengali Association and Apollo. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.